So you guys realize that Canada and Mexico are currently falling into the real Thucydides trap, right? For people who aren't too smart and don't read too much, like people at Harvard or the Atlantic, the Thucydides trap is the analogy where the United States is Sparta, the established power, and China is the rising Athenian insurgent power. And that means they're going to have to go to war. For people who've actually read Thucydides, like the whole book, it's very clearly has lessons for the United States as Athens, a country that formed a very strong coalition for a particular goal, defeating the Soviet Union, and then spent half a century falling into a really punitive, cruel imperial master. That's what the story of Thucydides is really about. It's about the fall of Athens and the way that a coalition built for good reasons can end up becoming a really crappy, weak, losing empire. And that is what the United States is doing at this point. Canada and Mexico have been laboring under an illusion that the United States has helped to construct, that they are equals, negotiating on an equal standpoint. And the United States, not because of anything that Canada and Mexico did really, has decided to just start pushing them around a little bit more. Because we can. And that's the message of the Melian dialogue that's so famous. It's, the strong will do what they will and the weak will suffer what they must. Basically the mask is beginning to fall off. Or maybe that's a little unfair. Like the United States, I think the people who put together like the US empire in the mid 20th century at least had fictions that they were going to treat, well, white countries like Canada like as equals. And that's just falling away more and more. You see that in Europe even before Trump was elected, but especially now that Donald Trump is coming back. It's no more Mr. Nice Guy, which seems like just a domestic political shift. But seen in the longer arc of U.S. empire, it's very familiar to a guy like Thucydides, who was writing 3,000 years ago. It's the real Thucydides trap. And Canada and Mexico are, I think, at this point realizing just how bad this is going to be going forward, whether it's Trump or any of his successors. It'll eventually be bad for the United States as well. This is a process through which empire ossifies and collapses, but I don't expect that in any of our lifetimes. Well, the ossification, I expect. The collapse, I don't. Thanks.